Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast,
where each week your hosts dive into the crossroads of faith,
culture,
and the unknown. Christ is Lord,
and the kingdom is now. We are the Saints That Serve.
Hey, welcome to the Saints That Serve podcasts with your hosts, Johnny and...
Oh, I'm here too. I'm Jarus.
Wow.
And Silent Nights.
Holy Night.
Christmas, you filthy animal.
Oh, you got me.
Happy New Year.
He's not stopping.
You can just keep shooting.
Just keep doing it. Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting.
Anyways, welcome to the podcast. We are officially in the
Joyful
season. We're both over here lip reading
like come on. Come on. Yeah. This is episode 12 of the Saints That Serve podcast.
That's right.
And we are in not the spooky season, not the thankful season. This is the joyful season. I'm so excited.
We've got a lot to talk about.
This is by far the best season of the year.
Oh yeah.
I know people love the spooky season, all the Halloween, the decorations, the burning of leaves and bonfires and all that stuff that kind of goes along with Halloween and Thanksgiving and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. This is, and not even because of the presents or anything like that. It's just such a good feeling, of nostalgia and warmth and happiness and joy that the Lord brings to us in our lives.
That's right.
Because we all know that Jesus is not in the spooky season.
He is not.
But he's in his birthday season.
That's right.
That's right.
And his birthday season is...
What do you mean?
When is his birthday season?
Right now, in the joyful season.
Yeah, and people are going to argue about that, but that's okay.
I figured that's what you were doing about. Well, this isn't really Jesus's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're adopted, you celebrate the day you were adopted.
Are you adopted or what?
It doesn't change anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're celebrating the reason
for the season.
For the season. And does the day really matter when it comes to the actual birth?
We're going to get into that.
Really? Actually?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say, I think the day does matter for Easter.
Well, we're going to talk about it in episode 15, because that's when we talk about nativity. So we're going to pause what we're talking about right now.
Perfect.
We're going to talk about announcements.
Yeah, I was about to ask, all right, what announcements do we have?
So we are still doing Pray For You Friday. If you need prayer for anything, you can reach out to us through our socials. We're on Instagram, we're on Threads, we're on Facebook. We're on X, Saints That Serve. On X, it's STS Ministries, but everything else, it's Saints That Serve Pod. And then you can also reach out to us through the podcast through a text option.
So if you're on your podcast, if you go to the description of the podcast and scroll all the way to the bottom, there will be a link that you're able to click that, which then opens up, I'm assuming, I've never actually tried it, but it'll open up
Sounds like that's something we should do.
Hold on, guys. Here we go. We're doing this in real time.
And while he does that, you can reach out to us those ways. You can also email us at saintsthatserve@gmail.com. And just let us know if we can be praying for you. We'll be doing that for you. We are in the festive, joyful season for leading up to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So all of our episodes for the month of December will be themed. Even the episode that's after Christmas, because we'll be talking about the wise men, because they came after the birth of Christ.
Is that a tease?
That's a tease for ya.
Wow.
So Nativity, we'll be talking about the Monday before Christmas, and then we'll dig into the wise men after, because it's kind of a looked over thing, right? It's like a little snippet in the nativity story for the wise men, but there's a lot of lore revolving around the three wise men. So it's like a whole topic on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So all of December will be our joyous season. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah, I got it. So if you go to the episode, I'm doing this on Apple Podcast app.
Yeah.
But I assume this is on any podcast that has a description, the episode description on it.
Yeah.
If you go to it, scroll all the way down the bottom, there will be a link. It says, if you want to send us a question or a comment, you can by texting us by clicking this link. I am now going to click the link. Then it immediately pulls up a text message thread for me to send a text message.
There you go. That's on a Apple iPhone. So
Mhm.
if you're listening through a computer, it may be a little different, but it'll still do the same thing. You just click on that link and it'll pull up an option for you to message us directly.
And it'd be a text message and we receive it.
Yeah.
And it's glorious
And we want it.
and wonderful
So that's the other thing we wanted to say.
and joyful.
We want you to comment on our episodes. We want you to.
We are in desperate need of interaction.
Yeah. Right now, our interaction is Ashley and Bryce. And we love both of you. You're both great. But we want to hear from everyone else too. So if you're listening.
Yes. There's multiple ways to get in contact with us. If you're sitting there listening to us and you're saying, I don't like what he said,
Yeah.
that guy is dumb,
Yeah.
let us know.
Or if you did like it, let us know.
And
or,
you think we're dumb, let us know.
or if you want more of like a type of thing, let us
if
know.
you like, if there's certain topics you want us to hear us discuss, or, certain topics you want us to discuss, like Alzheimer's. No. But yeah, like, get a hold of us. We really want to talk with y'all. This isn't exactly one-sided.
Yeah, the goal of the podcast was to develop a community that revolves around just talking about our faith, but also like how can we take our likes and our entertainment and make them about Jesus. So that's kind of the mission of the podcast, is to take entertainment and make it about Christ, and bring glory to the Lord through, that entertainment. So, let us know what you find entertaining so that we can get into it and make it about Jesus.
100%.
Yeah. That's probably going to be, to be honest, that's going to be our number 2 shirt.
Number 2 shirt.
First shirt is Trash Cat. Second is 100%.
Does anybody know that Trash Cat actually has a name?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we ever
Talked about Trash Cat. I haven't seen Trash Cat in a while.
Well, that's because he's outside now.
Yeah, for sure.
But his name is Tom Bombadil, for those who want to know.
Mm-hmm. He's Tomcat.
He is a tomcat. He is a boy. But he's like the chillest cat.
He's so nice and
He's
chill
nutted
now.
out real hard. Like he used to be like jumping up on there and like trying to scratch you and like play around with you hardcore.
Yeah, I remember episode 1.
Yeah. So now he's like super chill. All he wants to do is be held
Mm-hmm.
or walk around and check things out. But he'll walk right up to you and want to be petted and stuff. So we'll take a picture and post it.
We'll get a Trash Cat shirt going. I know I made some promise fake date. We're going to get merch eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Anyways, so
didn't you want to discuss one of our comments that we had on the Thanksgiving episode?
yeah, in just a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to finish telling everybody to like the podcast.
Okay.
Uh,
What else?
Comment, subscribe, and share.
Please share.
We
If
have
you're
done-
enjoying this,
Yeah.
then share it with other people.
Somebody
So
is.
you can share the love.
Somebody is sharing it because we've gone international.
I saw that yesterday. I sent that over to you, and you're just like, glory to God.
Yeah. It was because it was like countries that you're like,
How are we here?
yeah. How do we get over that? How did we jump the pond that hard? You know what I mean? Because it was
Mhm.
Hong Kong, Singapore, and was it Norway? Germany and Norway
and Canada.
and Canada. Canada is understandable, and I know exactly who it was.
Oh, do you actually?
Yeah, it was one of my sister's friends because it was for episode 5.
Oh,
She came on.
Gotcha.
So it was one of her friends from DTS who's from Canada.
Well, if you're listening, shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out to you.
So, but yeah, like it's crazy because we got views in Germany over a span of a day, which I believe to be a large number of people in like a day, like where they weren't there, and all of a sudden we had 4 like views in Germany over a span of a day.
Well, but can you tell? Sorry, everyone, we're getting into internal talk here. Can you tell the difference if it's different cities in Germany or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I was going to say
you can actually break it down and see.
Because it could just be one person listening to multiple episodes.
I think so. I think that is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can actually break it down and see what cities.
Yeah.
Like right now, like if you look at it front facing, it says United States, Singapore, Germany, Hong Kong, Sweden, and Canada.
Sweden.
Not
Norway, Sweden.
And then you can then look at it and break it down by cities.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I'm not seeing it. You got it right.
Hey, Charlie.
All right.
Actually, it does.
You've got the cities.
Well, one, I could see one. It's a long list. So I have one in Berlin.
Berlin?
Yeah, Berlin. That's what it says. So I'm assuming that's Germany because, Berlin.
Berlin.
That's what I said.
You said Berlin.
Berlin, Germany.
We're from the South, y'all.
And we are. Yeah.
Our E's and U's.
We just lost all our German viewers because they're like, now that they're talking to us.
Well, hey, it might just be one person in Germany.
It's not. I found the other one, and I will not be able to say this. Mannheim, Baden-Württemberg.
Mannheim? I think that is Norway or Sweden.
Oh, you think?
I think that's Sweden.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. I don't know. You want to know why I don't know? Because I'm not from Europe.
But we love you.
But we love you guys, and we are super happy that you're listening. Anyways, so yeah, keep on sharing. Keep on sharing the podcast. Let people know that we're out here to entertain you and bring the light of Christ into your life.
I was telling John before we started, it's like, I would love to be able to go on a tour and say, we're doing a podcast tour and going to Hong Kong and Germany and Canada and
We're going
Singapore.
on an international tour. Where are you going? Germany, Sweden, Hong Kong, and Singapore. That's random. Well,
that's where they're at.
That's where the love's at.
Yep.
So, all right. So addressing the comment that we got on last week's episode. Are you ready for me to address it?
Mm-hmm.
There might be more comments because, we're not all the way through the week when we record this.
Yeah. And speaking of which, just like a little in behind the curtain before we get started on the comments, because of your trip.
Yeah.
We are doing right now a back-to-back episode session.
We're doubling down.
So maybe for the next 2 weeks, if it seems like they're not addressing certain things, it's because as of right now, we're recording 2 episodes back-to-back.
Yeah. The night before Thanksgiving. So, but yeah.
Because we're going
to Disney World.
You're going to Disney.
Week after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be gone all week. And then when we get back, episode 14, we will talk about Disney.
Theme parks, because I just got back a few weeks ago from my Disney trip.
Yep.
And want to talk about theme parks, but Christmas. Christmas and theme parks is really fun.
Yeah, Christmas season at theme parks
is pretty great.
Yeah.
So we'll get on to that in episode 14, but that's in episode 14. But right now we're in episode 12. What are we talking about in episode 12?
So we're gonna address the comment first.
Oh, right.
Really, the only thing I have to say is thank you, Ashley, for the comment because you're spot on. Like, I was just talking and going. But you're right. Like there's no justification for any action. It's all sin and it's all fallen short of the glory of the Lord. So, whatever the colonizers did when they came over to the North American continent, there's no justification for the bad stuff that they did. And whatever the native people that were here before that, whatever they did, there's no justification for the bad stuff that they did. Like it's all bad. You can't like water down one side or the other because of the other side or whatever. It's all bad. So, and they all need Jesus. So, and that's what I want to bring up is Squanto. Sorry, I know we're in Joy's season, but Squanto, like heavy influence of Christ in his time in Europe. And so for him, I don't know if he necessarily professed Christ, like if he was a Christian, but he had that Christian influence from true Christians coming alongside him and helping him, so that when the Europeans came, when the Quakers came to the Massachusetts area, he helped them. So that, to me, I don't know if he was a Christian, but to me that shows the love of Christ. Like, you're going out of your way to help strangers from a foreign land who are just trying to move in. You're trying your best to make sure that they succeed in survival. To me, that shows Christ.
Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, too, is like, just because you're not professing Christ, if you are raised in that, your actions still will, his light will still shine through you through just basic morals.
Yeah. And I mean, according to history, because of Squanto's actions, they formed a treaty, the Quakers and the natives in that area, that lasted a generation. Like, it was a pretty long treaty, so it lasted a pretty good time before there started to be bad blood. So, once again, no justification for wickedness. You're spot on with that, Ashley. There's no justification for any kind of wickedness. But what stands out in history is when people act in righteousness. That's what stands out, because there's so much wickedness in history. Like, there's so much bad that goes on. So that when somebody actually stands up for good, that's what stands out. So, yeah. All right. And with that note, we're going to get into...
Well, I was going to say, thank you, my dear wife.
Yeah.
For that comment. And now turn around, because I'm standing right behind you while you're listening to this.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be hilarious if that lines up perfectly.
Make her listen to it.
Well, she'll listen to it whenever, So just the timing that I might happen to be right behind her when she's listening to this.
She turns around and you're not there, but...
It's even funnier if she turns around, I'm not there, and then she turns around and I'm in front of her.
There you go.
All right. Anyways, all right, Tyler. This is your transition.
That's right, Tyler. We're moving into Christmas.
You got any sounds for it?
Oh, yeah.
We're going back to the first Christmas, boys.
That wasn't very good. Sorry.
Try again.
I don't know if I didn't download enough. So the only other one I have is not really a good Christmas one.
Is it just the corner intro?
Read my Christmas list!
There we go.
Yeah. Did you even read my Christmas list? All right. We're going to talk about an iconic character throughout Christmas history.
Is it me?
No, it's not.
You want to talk about how I kick off the Christmas season in your household?
That's true. Jarus is the first decoration that we put up for Christmas every year. We've got a picture of Jarus in an Olaf shirt.
And a signed.
And it's got his signature on it.
And it says, Merry Christmas.
Yep.
With love from Jarus.
Yep. And it's framed, and we've got it, and we put it up as our very first decoration every single year.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing that for 9 years.
That's insane.
9 years.
By the way, just so you know, they got that picture from a white elephant gift exchange.
Yeah.
From me. It'd been really weird if it wasn't from me.
Yeah, well, but it was, we were leading youth, and we did a white elephant gift exchange with the youth, and nobody wanted the Jarus picture, but we did. So we locked it in, and we got it, and now it's our first decoration every single year.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. I'll take a picture of it and upload it to the...
You're going to have to blur my last name off of it.
I'll figure it out.
Yep. Yeah, just have a black box over my last name.
Or I'll put my finger or thumb or something.
Yeah.
We'll do something. It'll be cool.
Yeah, so just to ring in the Christmas season, a picture of me.
Of you. That's right.
A very young me, by the way.
A very young and...
vibrant.
There we go. Vibrant.
And
word.
And thin. I was very thin in that photo.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to talk about Santa Claus.
Santa Claus, guys.
So what do you know about Santa Claus?
He is the consumer image of Christmas.
Okay.
He was created by the Macy's, I believe.
Okay.
To promote shopping in the Christmas season.
Okay.
And if you want to believe Santa's real, he lives in the North Pole.
All right.
And he brings you gifts. He is a mythical icon.
Okay.
Yeah. And now let's get into probably all the actual facts.
Well, do you know who he's based off of?
Saint Nicholas.
That's right. Saint Nicholas of
Yorktown.
Myra.
So close.
Anyways, so he is a saint. Well, he's been sainted by the Catholic Church, but he was a bishop of the church back in 270 AD. Or his life is 270 AD to 343 AD. So in that time, he became a bishop of the church and he oversaw different areas, but he was originally from Greek. He was of Greek descent. And the area that he was kind of in is more like modern day Turkey today.
Okay.
But I mean, there's a couple of things that he's really known for across the board, whether you're Catholic or Protestant. One of them was he punched a heretic in the face at one of the councils that they had. And then the other big thing was that he is the inspiration for Santa Claus because of his kindness and generosity for people. He started this thing where the first instance or the first story was there was this family and they were very, very like super duper poor. And the father was basically at the point where he's like, I'm going to have to sell my daughters into slavery to survive. He had 3 daughters. So he's like, I'm going to have to sell my daughters into slavery for us to survive. And St. Nicholas heard about it. And so he's like, I've got the money, but I don't want it to come across as like I'm being super pious or get any kind of reward for it. So he put money in a bag, and at night he went by the house and threw the money in through a window. And he did that a couple of times for this family.
He taped it to a brick and threw it through their window.
Yeah. Well, but you got to think about it. This is before glass.
Oh,
because this is like, 300 AD. So
Mm.
most windows aren't going to have glass in it. But anyways, yeah. So he waited till it was night and he'd throw a bag of money in.
Just imagine, you just chilling in your house and, and you're just like, you are struggling in your life and you're just like, Lord, please provide money.
Yeah.
Just comes through your window.
Yeah. And then he did that a couple of times, and then like he's been attributed with, he would take a sack of toys and he would go through a town and give toys to children. Just because he wanted to show love and generosity to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like he had a cart that he would have a mule pull and he would pass out toys to kids.
How did that go from a mule pulling a cart to 9 reindeer pulling a magical sleigh?
Yeah.
I would like to see the correlations of the real man versus the Christmas icon.
So this is where we get with Santa Claus is over time, each culture and community does an adaptation for whatever purpose to make the story stick. So yeah, it does develop over time. Like you were spot on with the Macy's thing.
I thought I was.
Macy's was trying to make an iconic character that they could use as a visual to sell stuff for Christmas.
But they didn't invent Santa, right?
No, they didn't.
They really just created the more modern day American image of Santa to promote shopping.
Yeah. What they did is they took the patron saint, Saint Nicholas, and they mixed him with and this is really funny. And they mixed him with I think he was from Denmark. it was one of the Scandinavian countries, a notorious thief named Kris Kringle, who was a chimney sweep, but he could contort his body and put joints out of socket to where he could fit down people's chimneys. So he would he would go down into the people's houses through their chimneys and rob them and leave.
Through the chimney?
Yeah. He'd get back up somehow. Like he'd climb back up. But it was just funny that like they took a robber, Kris Kringle, who would bust into people's houses through the chimney, and then Saint Nicholas, who's known for surprising people with gifts, and meshed those two together and came up with a jolly elf who lives in the North Pole.
I feel like we should have put a disclaimer at some point in this that, hey, we're talking about Santa and that the fact he's not real, guys.
Well, but that's the point, is he is real.
Well,
you just need the context for it.
This is true.
Yeah. So we're giving the context.
Saint Nick was a real person. Kris Kringle was a real person.
Mm-hmm.
A magical elf living in the North Pole is not a real person.
Yeah.
Because we know what the season's truly about and who it's really should be the focus of.
This is true. I need to do a little bit more search on it, but I believe that he was also, I've got this pulled up. I got to try and find it. I think he was attributed for like going to Rome and seeing the gladiatorial fights and like, no, it wasn't him. Never mind.
I was going to say Russell Crowe.
No, there is somebody who though, like, he saw the gladiatorial fighting, and they kept on shouting like, "In the name of Jesus Christ, stop!" Because the gladiatorial ring was two men fighting each other to the death, so it was like slaughter, butchery for the sake of entertainment, and so they kept on doing it until the point that they were killed by one of the gladiators. And the story of it is like everyone was upset that this person kept on getting in the way and shouting, "In the name of Jesus Christ, stop." But after that person was killed, like he was cut down, and after he was cut down, he said, "In the name of Jesus Christ, stop." And then the legend is that was the last gladiatorial fight. So,
but we don't have any name for that person.
I just heard that as I was doing research on Saint Nicholas. But I don't want to say that was St. Nicholas because I don't.
You've heard it here first, folks. Santa Claus, stop Colosseum slaughter.
Yeah. No, but he is known for gift giving. The story about rescuing girls from being, sold into slavery. He attended the Nicene Council in 325. Well, and it says he was never mentioned in any of the writings by the people who were there at the council, though. So maybe that's allegedly. All I know is that the Protestants love bringing up, especially the Calvinists, they love bringing up that St. Nicholas punched a heretic in the face at the Nicene Council. So, do with that as you will. But
what is it? It's just like that, what is it? That movie Violent Night? Where Santa Claus is just fighting people or something like that, right?
Did you watch it?
I have not watched it yet.
Okay. Do you want a little bit of a spoiler?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. In that movie, he is a Viking from like the 900s. And he's on a battlefield and, he's like fighting and he's a very violent guy, right? But he's like laying down dying and he's rescued. I can't remember who he's rescued by, but he's basically given
immortality.
Yeah, he's given life back, and immortality to show kindness and love, and so he becomes a gift giver instead. So Violent Night is Santa Claus, like the traditional as Santa Claus, walking into a very violent situation by accident, getting caught up in it, and the only reason he's surviving is because he happened to be a violent Viking from several hundred years ago.
Imagine, the idea of like, yeah, I watched you fight and die. You're super violent, but let me give you immortality because you seem to have the best resume to help people.
Yeah, well, I think that was the moral of the story was like, for the sake of showing kindness and love, giving people a second chance.
I've got you.
So I think that was kind of the moral of the story that was wrapped up in this like super violent Christmas movie.
Would you recommend watching it though?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it is violent, so there is a lot of action and there is some gore and there is language.
Okay. Is it kind of posed as a comedy though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very comedic.
And it's David Harbour, right? The guy who played in Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays Santa.
Who's also the red, what's his name from Marvel? Red Sun?
Red Sun.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Hellboy.
No.
Because he does play Hellboy.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
In the most recent one?
Technically, no. So there's now 4 Hellboy movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's the 2 with Ron Perlman. Then the 3rd one they remade with David Harbour. And now there's a 4th one.
Oh, really?
And it looks just so overly demonic that I'm just kind of like, I'm not going to watch this one.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, that's my issue is when we, like, there's some entertaining shows that or movie series or things like that I enjoy. But then like it gets into, because to some people, especially I guess surfacey people in Hollywood, not the people that are like deeply engulfed in Hollywood, but some of these people, they're like, demons and hell are fictional. So we can use them in a creative way because it's just fiction. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But it's like, dude, that stuff's very real. The demonic forces, very real thing.
And then the thing, like you said, that they do where it's, let's take something that is evil and redeem it, right? You see that a lot too. Like the best case of that literally is the TV show Lucifer.
Yeah.
Where it's a hero, they are very much protagonizing the devil himself.
Yeah.
Where he's going in helping people and all this stuff, but he's the devil. It makes no sense.
Yeah. Which I want getting a little spiritual here on you guys. We're making the statement that demons and Satan are unredeemable, and it's because they've already passed through their judgment with God. So there will be a final day where God gives final judgment on all of creation. The blessing, well, yeah, I'll call it a blessing. The blessing that humanity has right now is that God has not given his final judgment. He is extending opportunity for all mankind to be saved because that's what he desires. He desires, I think it's in 1 Timothy where he says God desires all of man to be saved. Doesn't say that all of man is going to be saved. It just says that he desires it. And so he gives the opportunity for all of us to confess our sins before him and repent of those sins and then receive the gift of grace that's only found in Jesus Christ. So there's no earning our salvation. There's no earning redemption from our wickedness because we're all sinners. No man is perfect. No, not one. But we've been given grace through the perfect sacrifice of Jesus Christ that he performed on the cross on our behalf. So we have the opportunity to repent and receive that grace. And that's why we have not undergone that final judgment. But there will be a day where that happens. And that has already happened for the demonic, for these fallen angels, and for Satan himself. They've already passed through their final judgment. And now they are living in limbo until the final day where God gives his final judgment over all of creation. And then all these things will pass away and we'll enter into a new eternal kingdom with a new heaven and a new earth, and there will be perfection and no more sin. So I just wanted to make that clarification for everybody that demons have already been through their judgment and now they are living in their condemnation.
100%. Shirt coming to the store next to no. But yeah, you're right for sure. And so like even these characters in these shows in no way are redeemable.
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. So, but you're going to find out as we go through Christmas and we look at these different iconic Christmas things, you're going to find out that a lot of them have a basis in church history. And they've just, over time, they've been commercialized to be sellable.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Christmas season has become very consumer focused, at least in America. So a lot of the stuff that we have, it's not that it was like created brand new thing.
Mm-hmm.
It started, hundreds of years prior to today.
I was about to ask, how long has the image of Santa Claus, the jolly fat man wearing the red suit bringing the presents, was that around before Macy's adopted it for commercial?
That particular Santa Claus, jolly fat
Wait,
man.
did Macy's create the jolly fat man we know today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They created the jolly old fat guy with a white beard and a red suit with a red cap, riding in a sleigh with reindeer. Like, all that stuff was kind of adapted over time from different stuff, but all of it brought together into the Coca-Cola image.
I was about to say, that was another thing that came to mind is Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Coca-Cola when it comes to Christmas.
So that's the modern, that has been compiled by the American consumerism. All that stuff was created to be sellable. That's what made Santa sellable to people.
Which is such a wild thought when you think about the image that brings so many people joy.
Yeah.
Is just a random man.
Yeah. Well, and it's a good point to remember who Saint Nicholas is.
Mm-hmm.
Because his life story, it kind of revolves around that idea of giving, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of showing, joy and cheerfulness and kindness, he gives. It's not about like, look at what I'm giving.
It's about receiving and humility.
Yeah, it's about
giving and receiving.
Giving in quiet. Like, how Jesus says, like, give him privately. Don't let your left hand see what your right hand's doing. The idea of like, give, but do it with a selfless heart rather than a self-centered heart, where it's like, I'm going to give this, but I'm going to make sure I'm giving it so that you can see how good I am at giving. That's what Saint Nicholas embodied in his time, was selfless giving, not for the purpose of receiving honor or glory for being a giver, but
to help,
solely to help. Yeah. And to show the love of Christ, because that was the point. And so that's kind of, I think when we talk about Santa Claus and Saint Nicholas and all that stuff, we need to get to that. He embodies the idea of selfless giving for the purpose of showing the love of Jesus. So there you go. That's Saint Nicholas.
Not Santa Claus, not Kris Kringle.
Definitely not Kris Kringle.
But Santa Claus. Saint Nick.
Saint Nick.
It's so interesting.
Who people call Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Klaus. Santa Claus.
But again, it's that we have all these different imagery and different things that all come together for this now of American consumerism, and we need to get away from that.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to know some of the stuff that St. Nicholas is known for, the patron saint of in the Roman Catholic Church?
So we are talking about St. Nick now, not Kris Kringle, not Santa Claus. St. Nick, which is the inspiration of Santa Claus.
Correct.
And also Kris Kringle is the
yes.
inspiration. Yes, yes, the answer is yes. Do it.
Okay, all right. So the Catholics believe in being sainted. Like there's a process you have to undergo to become sainted or to become a patron saint.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know all those, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you what they are. Compared to us, where we as Protestants believe that anyone who believes in Christ is a saint.
Mm-hmm.
We're called the saints
that serve.
Yeah, obviously we believe that we're saints because we call ourselves the saints that serve. So all our Catholics out there listening to this, please feel free to complain and tell us why we're wrong.
Are you telling me that we're Santa?
Yeah, we are all Santa. No. Anyways.
An example of one is St. Patrick, the patron saint of killing snakes.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if he's a patron saint of killing snakes. But here's some things that, according to, I don't know if this, like how accurate this list is, but these are some things that he's known for as the patron saint of. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sailors, merchants, archers, for some reason, repentant thieves, children, brewers, pawnbrokers, toy makers, unmarried people, and students. This says students in various cities and countries around Europe. So I guess not every city and country acknowledges him as the patron saint of students, but some do. I don't know how that works, but toy makers, children, those things make sense, but archers?
I would really like to see the reasoning behind archers at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because he punched a guy in the face. I don't know.
I punched a guy in the face with my arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Maybe. So there's a story of him calming a storm at sea. So I guess that makes sense for the sailors. Saving 3 innocent soldiers from a wrongful execution, and chopping down a tree possessed by a demon in his youth.
Is that what he built his sleigh out of? Is that tree? Is that Lycanfly?
That demon tree.
The demon tree.
He made a pilgrimage to Egypt and Syria, Palestine. Shortly after his return, he became Bishop of Myra. He was later cast into prison during the persecution of Diocletian, which is the Emperor Diocletian, but was released after the accession of Constantine, who was the first Roman emperor to become Christian. Mm-hmm. And that's when the Christian church became the primary religion of the Roman Empire. And after that point is when the Catholic Church kind of started developing because of the mix of the Roman politics, Roman politics mixed in with the church because the church was no longer persecuted by the Romans. So here we are. All right. Saint Nicholas. Here we go. Are you ready to talk about the founding of Christmas?
So is this Tyler's transition?
Yeah, Tyler, we're going to transition over real quick.
Just real quick.
I mean, it's not going to be like a crazy long thing, but,
but educate me.
It is a question, because we talk about Christmas revolves around the remembrance of the birth of Christ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about the nativity story in episode 14.
In just a couple of weeks, stay tuned.
No, 15, sorry, episode 15, right? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
14 is theme parks.
Yeah. And 15 is the nativity.
And then 13 is what? Next week, and you'll find out.
Yeah, that's right. But they believe, based on the information that's in the Bible, that Jesus was really born sometime in April. What would parallel to our calendar, it would be sometime in April.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we celebrate his birth in December?
Is it, again, I hate saying it this way, but is it due to consumerism? They placed it at the end due to getting year-end sales up. So is that why Christmas is there as well? Or Christmas already existed in that time, and they placed Santa on that holiday to get more money?
Yeah, Christmas started right at that time that the Roman church became, or the church became the Roman religion. So when Christianity became the Roman religion, they started doing away with the Roman religion and the Roman pantheon and all that stuff and started making things about Christ and God and stuff. So this happened quite early. I mean, in the 300s AD.
Okay.
But December is around the time that the winter solstice happens. And this is something across cultures. Most cultures have some sort of celebration that they do in December to celebrate the solstice, the winter solstice, which is like the science behind it is, I did air quotes because I'm not a science guy, but it's when the poles are the furthest away, at their furthest point away from the sun, signifying like this is the furthest it gets. So it's the changing of the season. Like this is the
North Pole?
Yeah. So this is where the poles have reached the maximum distance away from the sun, and they're going to be there for a little while before we get back into the regular, before it starts warming up again. It's the beginning of winter is the best way to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone would celebrate a winter solstice sometime in December. And it's just that it's a celebration of the changing of the season. So the Romans always celebrated the sun god in December, and they celebrated it on December 25th was about the time that they would do that.
So they had an established holiday, and instead of fully taking that away, like they gave an alternative on the same day, essentially.
Yeah, so it was kind of like the week, I guess I can't say the one day, but like the week of December 25th, they would be doing their winter solstice, and they would be celebrating the rebirth of the sun god. And the idea is the sun's reborn annually kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's not the right wording to use, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, people.
And you can do that by commenting.
Yeah, that's right.
On all our platforms and texting us at the bottom of the descriptions. Continue.
So, yeah, the rebirth. Yeah, because I've got it right here. The rebirth of Sol Invictus, the Roman god of the sun. So the idea was he was reborn on December 25th during the winter solstice celebration. And so when the church became Christian, or when the Romans became Christian,
When the church became Christian.
Yeah, when the church became Christian, no. When Rome became Christian, they had to get the people on board, right? And so it was like, okay, so we either take away this pagan festivity and we do nothing, and everyone gets mad that they don't get to party for a week, or we replace it. And the church is notorious for doing this through all cultures. So every culture that the church comes in and starts converting people in mass, it's like, okay, how do we get everybody on board? Let's take thing and get them. How do we get them to stop sinning by celebrating doing these pagan holidays and celebrate in a Christian way? And so that's what this was. They were taking a holiday that was regularly done in a very gluttonous, debaucherous, drinking, partying. They were doing all this nasty stuff. And that's the only reason that people wanted to party. Like, it wasn't like they were being super devout. And, coincidentally, the worship of these idols involved drinking and debauchery and gluttony and all that stuff. But the church was like, how do we divert? How do we make this a Christian party? And they do Christian things.
Instead of taking it away altogether, they allowed them to quote unquote party,
but in a righteous way.
And you slowly have to convince them, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just make it the official stance is that. And
this party is for Jesus.
Yeah. And so they're like, we're going to not that it was like Jesus. Maybe they did try to say like Jesus is born on December 25th. But the idea was we're going to celebrate the birth of Christ because he is our God rather than celebrate the birth of of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Sol Invictus, the birth of the sun. S-U-N. So they just changed it around. We're going to celebrate the birth of the one and only Son of God.
We switched out the sun for the sun.
Exactly. So that's the idea, is that they were taking a very enjoyable party that people would do and replaced it with the party of Jesus. And it's kind of taken off ever since. And everyone that's Christian, Judeo, well, not really Jewish because they do Hanukkah, but the Christian world celebrates the birth of Christ in December, and it was replacing a pagan holiday. And I would like to acknowledge, as Christians, like, we should be about that. We should be about, like, hey, we're going to take over, we're going to reclaim creation for Christ, for our God who created all things.
I feel like that we see that a lot. I feel like I hear that terminology a lot of, like, you know, the alphabet community and other people of the world talking about, we're going to reclaim these things for us now. So
not reclaim, we're going to claim.
Well, claim, but they say reclaim, but they're really claiming it for themselves now, the rainbow and stuff like that. And it's like, we can do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Christians need to reclaim the rainbow. That is our thing. The believers, the rainbow is the promise, the covenant that God gave humanity. It's
but that's going to be a
identifier.
Yeah, that's going to be our third shirt. It's just a rainbow on it, and it says, "This is our thing."
That's good. All right, we're going to move into our final bit for tonight. Are you ready? Our cryptid is...
Well, welcome to the corner.
Oh, yeah, welcome to the corner, everybody. And we're going to be talking about something very special tonight.
So we talked about Santa.
Talked about Santa Claus. So now who are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about
Krampus Claus.
Krampus Claus, the mortal enemy of the red man.
Actually, he's not.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I think it's just more of a. The idea is that he's an anti-Santa.
No.
Well, in more modern day imagery and whatnot, he is the anti-Santa. Instead of coming and bringing gifts, he comes and takes you away if you're naughty.
I guess that's what they've made the horror genre. Like that's what they've taken.
That's what I'm saying. A modern day Krampus is this evil icon who does the things
abducts
like
children.
Like where, you know, Santa brings gifts, Krampus takes you away. And I think it's not really that they're mortal enemies as much as I think they kind of work together in that sense, where they go and they'll, you know, like, oh, I have the naughty list. Now you go get the naughty kids to take care of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's German, right? Krampus is German.
Yeah.
Now give the facts now that I've stated the faults.
So Krampus is they use the word anthropomorphic.
So it's like an animal creature with humanistic features.
Yeah, it's a humanoid creature. Anyways, so Krampus in German lore, or more specifically in Central Eastern Alpine folkloric tradition, if you will, he travels with Santa Claus or with Saint Nicholas.
So I was right.
Saint Nick's gives gifts to the good children, and Krampus beats the bad children.
Jeez.
So he follows along with Saint Nicholas, and he punishes any children that had bad behavior by beating them with birch rods.
Jeez. I would like to picture that as Santa's in the top of the sleigh and then Krampus is just holding on underneath the whole time.
Yeah, that's the best way to acknowledge it. Like, he rides along with Santa Claus.
But he's not in the sleigh.
In the sleigh. But here's the deal. Is like the original story is that he is a central part with Santa Claus. So it's not like Santa Claus has nothing to do with him and he just is a unwanted tag along. It's that Santa's like, you come with me. I'm going to take care of the good one. We're going to play good cop, bad cop. I'm going to take care of the good kids, and then you're going to beat the bad kids with sticks. And Krampus is like, okay.
I bet.
Yeah. So really, he's kind of like the demon that St. Nicholas cast out of the tree. He's like, I cast you out of the tree. Now you got to do what I tell you to do.
Jeez. You get your own compartment in your old tree that I built a sleigh out of.
That's right.
That's my Christmas lore. It's almost like Santa. These kids need to get beaten, but I don't want to do it. So he hires somebody it's like the reverse whipping boy. It's like the mom going in and saying, "Don't make me go get your dad."
Yeah, so ironically, our very first episode, we talk about satyrs.
And Santa is a satyr. Krampus is a satyr, right?
Krampus pretty much looks exactly like a satyr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got the horns of a goat. He's got cloven hoofs for feet. He's got a tail. He's normally depicted as being like a brown or a dark brown or black. He's got a long droopy tongue and fangs, apparently. I don't know if maybe the fangs don't have anything to do with satyrs, but still.
You want a good Christmas horror movie recommendation?
I mean, I'm not going to watch it, but go ahead.
Krampus. It is actually a pretty decent movie. It's not too overly scary or gory or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good movie. Me and my wife watched it last year.
Does he ride along with
Santa? No, not in this one. He comes to his town to do his job.
Okay.
I think it's in the story that because the town has lost its Christmas spirit, that he is allowed to come in now and take everybody away.
Gotcha.
A good thing about it, though, no one dies in that movie.
Hey.
They make it look like they do, and at the end, it's like Krampus actually just takes them and puts them in snow globes. And keeps them on his shelf in his workshop, so no one dies. They're just permanently imprisoned.
There's a show called Grimm.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I know what you're talking about. Like, it's based off the Brothers Grimm fairy tales.
Kind of. It's actually a pretty good show. I'd recommend watching it. But the idea is that the Grimm, or the Grimm brothers, they weren't making fairy tales. They have a special ability. So anyone who's a Grimm has the special ability to be able to see these creatures for what they really are. And everyone else, the creatures can hide themselves from everybody else except Grimms. Grimms can see them for who they are.
And so as they are dealing with, it's like a Monster of the Week show where each week they run into a different creature of some kind.
Yep.
And so as they're writing or experiencing these things, they are writing their fairy tales.
Well, so that's how the origin starts. The show is following a cop in Portland.
Who is a Grimm.
And he finds out he has this ability. And so it's about him figuring out, like, how do I do this? How do I be a cop and also chase down these creatures and kill the bad ones?
That is also the plot of the movie The Brothers Grimm.
Yeah, kind of. But it is a good show, but one episode they deal with Krampus.
Gotcha.
So, which is like, that's the thing is in the show, the lore is that, like, this creature, Krampus, the person's totally unaware that they are Krampus. But when Christmas is I think it's like 12 days.
So is it like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation?
Yeah, they become Krampus, and then
so they black out for like a week
for 12 days.
Gotcha.
So the 12 days of Christmas is when Krampus comes and he kidnaps a bunch of kids, and then he's gonna basically the kids disappear. Like when the Krampus gets them, he does something to them. I don't know if he kills them or eats them or whatever in the show. So the show is them trying to find.
He puts them in snow globes.
No, in the show.
I'm telling you what he does.
Okay.
You listen to me.
Okay.
Jeez.
Anyways, so that's Krampus. He's pretty much just a satyr that rides along with Saint Nicholas to beat bad children with birch sticks.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's an Office quote from Dwight in here somewhere.
Yeah. For Perfektenschlag.
Because doesn't he talk about Krampus in one of the episodes?
It's not Krampus. It's, what does he call it? It's I can't remember.
We need your wife down here. She's the Office expert.
I'm trying to find out what it is. Belschnickel is what he calls it.
Belschnickel?
Yeah.
What is Belschnickel?
Belschnickel is a Pennsylvania Dutch character who is often portrayed as a scout for Santa or Saint Nicholas. Belschnickel will visit the homes around Christmas time, rewarding good children and punishing bad ones.
So it's just a different culture's Krampus.
Yeah. But rather than riding along with Saint Nick, he goes
ahead for Saint Nick.
Yeah.
Not Saint Nick, Santa Claus.
Santa Claus. Sainter Claus.
Sainter
is what
Claus.
The German, that's where we get the Santa Claus. It's from the German for Saint Nick. Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Klaus. I think that's right. I think that's how you say it. Santa Claus. Yeah. So that's everything I've got. You got anything else you want to add there?
Guys, fairy tale or not, just be good.
Yeah. You know what? You better watch out.
You better not cry.
And you better not shout.
Because I'm telling you why.
Because Santa Claus is coming to town.
I was going to say, because Jesus is watching.
That's right. Jesus is watching. And because...
To me, like you're on the wrong side of the river.
Did you press the wrong button? I don't see how that applies.
No, you're on the wrong side of the river.
So the right side of the river is Santa's river side, and then
no,
Krampus.
Jesus' side.
If Macy's has taught me anything, they're the same person.
Santa Claus and Jesus?
Yeah, they're totally the same person according to Macy's.
Oh, gotcha. Well, Macy's can go suck a toy truck because they're not.
And they got plenty of those in the toy department.
That's right. You go grab all your toy trucks and you just deal with it.
So, again, we talked about it. We are recording the day before Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And I wanted to bring this up. So, by the way, Tyler, we are now transitioning out of the corner.
Out of the corner.
And we are now transitioning into now the final thought stage of this episode.
We're bringing it in for a landing.
So I went into Target earlier before I came over here.
Target.
Target. Mostly to go to the bathroom. But I did walk around for a second.
I just need to get in there and destroy their toilet.
Mm-hmm. So I was walking around and they were prepping for Black Friday.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that I have not seen a Black Friday happen in a very long time.
Oh, yeah?
Like, when's the last time you went anywhere?
I didn't.
Well, again, or just anywhere in their overstocked prep for Black Friday. They had all their employees out kind of like lined around, like circled up, like, all right, so we're going to have to man. You're going to have the keys. You're going to be all unlocking all these doors all night, all morning. And and then you're going to watch over on these TVs and like, when's the last time we had a Black Friday blowout? People coming in, running in and grabbing stuff.
Big summer blowout.
Exactly. Like it has not happened in a very long time.
Yeah. It's because everybody buys online. So I don't know. Maybe it's something, maybe
this year is a big comeback, but
maybe
it's just like,
because Home Depot has like, I walked into the store the other day and they had all their aisles filled with pallets that were wrapped in black plastic wrap, and it just had a sign on it that says Black Friday,
right? And
or whatever. I was like,
when's the last time you ever saw somebody line up outside Home Depot for anything?
Well, but that's the thing. Like, if they're doing like first come first serve Black Friday deals on stuff, then I get it. Like, get there. The first person to get there is the first person to get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I haven't. I don't know.
I think it's crazy. Like, especially when I feel like that retail stores are slowly dying out. Like, I think that we'll have the need for grocery stores, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I am a big stickler for quality in my movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get the best quality from your movies, not from streaming, but from physical media.
Yeah.
So I went in to look at their movies.
Yep.
At Target after I used the bathroom and blew up the toilet.
Yep.
As you said.
Yep. Explosion.
Do you not have an explosion button?
No. Sorry.
Okay.
I don't think so. No. Yeah, the closest thing I've got says.
So, anyways, it's pretty sus. So I went to the back and found that Target has no movies. No movie.
Really?
Not a single movie that they are selling in the electronics department.
Interesting.
They have gutted out all the movies and made an Apple section with just a few tables.
What?
Like, what is going on? It might be more than Apple. It just looked like a lot of Apple stuff on some tables. I'm like, this is stupid because Best Buy has done this already.
Yeah.
They have gutted out and gotten rid of all of their physical media. And I thought, okay, well, they're not going to sell it in stores anymore. No, they just no longer sell physical media, period.
Yeah.
For movies.
Yeah.
Which makes me irritated because you go in there, they have a record section in Best Buy.
For the nostalgia types.
Eventually, we'll probably get back to movies that way, but I guess slowly they're phasing out physical media everywhere. I haven't been in Walmart yet in a while. Walmart is like a pretty good place to go to look at physical media still.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling I'm going to walk in there and just that'll be gone too.
Well, because the whole movie and TV industry has been pushing subscriptions
into
digital subscriptions.
Yeah, the streaming and whatnot. And again, that's fine. The quality of that is good. But to really, truly get the best out of your movies is uncompressed straight from a disc.
Yeah, but the
majority of the population don't care about that, to be honest.
Everybody in the circles makes more money because it's like we get a monthly subscription for our library of movies that these people are watching. And then if they want to watch it with higher quality and better definition and all this stuff.
And ad free, pay more money.
Pay more money.
You know I do.
And pay more money to your internet provider to get better download.
The download speeds. And then what's ridiculous too is like, and also to make sure that you don't go over your data limit. Believe it or not, people at home, your internet at home has a data limit.
Yeah. And, most streaming services, you can actually, as long as you're paying for the subscription, you can actually download certain movies to your device to be able to watch them, but they hold the copyright for it. So at any time, if you stop it and you've downloaded something to the device, you won't be able to play it.
Yeah.
But that solves the online download issue. But, it's however good your device is that you download it to. Mm-hmm. So anyways, yeah. All right. Well, there you go, people. That's it. There's no more media for movies in the stores anymore.
Well, I'm sure you can go on to Amazon and buy it, but how much longer before we just stop getting, disc anymore? Which is wild because I feel like after the death of the VHS,
30 more days.
Jeez.
No.
Don't spend all the money. No, it's just like, I know VHSs were around a long time after DVDs came out. It was a good long while. And I feel like for the jump from DVD to Blu-ray and then the Blu-ray to 4K, they still sell, before they stopped selling physical media in general, they were still selling DVDs next to the Blu-rays and the 4K discs.
Yeah, I remember when DVDs came out, it was only a couple of years before the VHS became totally obsolete. Like everything moved over to DVDs really quick is how I remember it. But DVDs, like when they moved from DVD to Blu-ray to 4K, and then they started doing the streaming stuff. Like, it's amazing to me how long DVDs and Blu-ray discs, it's amazing to me how long discs have hung on in comparison, if that makes sense.
Do you remember the competitor to Blu-ray?
No.
There is another format that came out to combat Blu-ray. It was called HD DVD. The cases were red.
I don't remember that at all.
It did not last long at all. Like in an insanely short amount of time before those disappeared and Blu-rays took over.
Yeah.
Because Blu-ray is a brand, not a format.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit of both. It is. I think Sony owns the patent for Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And Blu-ray is the technique to burning it to the disc. Like they're literally using a Blu-ray to burn it to the disc, allowing for more data on a Blu-ray disc.
Gotcha.
So again, they had HD DVDs, which probably was the same Blu-ray technology as possible. I don't know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a brand and a technique.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I believe Sony owns the rights to it.
Okay.
And so any Blu-ray disc, they probably just make the technology that burns it, and then Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob is your uncle.
All right, well, that's it for our show for episode 12.
Episode 12.
Thank you for listening.
Do you have any closing words?
Just that we love you guys, and we're looking forward to spending the Christmas holiday with you, learning more about it, and hopefully helping you learn more about it, and hopefully making it all about Jesus.
Very, very good. Very good.
Thanks.
I also have a few words to close out for us.
Go ahead, close us out.
Horse, cabinet, sword, wood.
All right, and that's it. I'm Johnny.
I'm Jarus, and Christ is Lord.
And the kingdom is now. We are
the saints that serve. Just hear those sleigh bells ringing and ting, ting, tingling too. What a lovely weather.